All right, today we're going to talk about something really powerful, a story about where self-confidence actually comes from. And here's a spoiler. It's not about waiting around for some magical feeling of certainty to just show up. Nope. It's about building it, one small and, yeah, sometimes terrifying action at a time. I mean, really think about it. Have you ever been in a moment where you had something important to say, a great idea, something you just knew would work, but you just stayed quiet? Like fear literally had you in a chokehold. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then you're going to want to hear this. So let me introduce you to Ethan, and he's not some kind of superhero. No, he's probably a lot like you, or me. He's that person who has these brilliant ideas swimming around in his head, but he grew up terrified of being wrong, scared of being laughed at, and maybe most of all, just afraid of being seen. And that fear, well, it followed him everywhere. So let's picture the scene, right? Ethan's in this super important, high-stakes meeting. His boss is looking for fresh ideas, and bam, a brilliant one just sparks in Ethan's mind. You can feel it, right? His heart starts hammering against his ribs. His palms get all sweaty. This is it. This is his moment. But then, that voice kicks in. You know the one I'm talking about, the one that always chooses safety over making an impact. He opens his mouth to speak, and then he just closes it. And he tells himself that little lie we've all told ourselves. Not today. Maybe next time. And this is where it gets painful. This is the real cost of silence. Because a few minutes later, someone else across the table speaks up, and they say the exact same idea, and the room just erupts. The boss loves it. And Ethan, he has to sit there, a fake smile plastered on his face, clapping along while there's this silent scream just trapped inside of him. But see, that night was different. Something snapped. That night, the sharp sting of regret, the ache of being invisible, it finally became bigger and more painful than his fear of speaking up. This was it. This was his turning point. He's just standing there, in front of the mirror, staring at this tired, defeated person looking back at him. And he makes a vow. It wasn't some loud, grand promise. It was this quiet, almost desperate whisper that would completely change the entire course of his life. That was his rock bottom, and it was the foundation for everything that was about to happen. And this is the moment it clicked for him. This is what he finally got. Confidence isn't some magical gift that a few lucky people are born with. It doesn't just arrive one day. It's a result. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, you have to build it through reps, through effort, through walking into the fire. And you know, the genius of his plan was just how simple it was. He wasn't trying to become this world-class speaker overnight. His goal was tiny. It was manageable, but it was consistent. In every single meeting, no matter what, he would say just one sentence. That's it. That was the whole plan. And that one simple promise, man, that was the spark. That was what ignited a transformation that wasn't, immediate, but it was absolutely profound. Okay, so that first time, absolutely terrifying. I mean, his hands were shaking, his voice totally cracked under the pressure. He was just bracing himself for people to laugh, for them to judge him. But the crazy thing is, the world didn't end. The catastrophe he pictured in his mind never happened. Nobody mocked him. They just listened. And that simple act was a total revelation. And then you start to see this incredible compounding effect take hold. That one shaky sentence per meeting, it turned into two. Then it became contributing short ideas. Then he was asking follow-up questions. Within a few months, he wasn't just showing up anymore. He was actually contributing. And then 8 months in, a massive opportunity lands right on his desk. And this right here is the secret, the whole paradox. He didn't wait until he felt confident to finally speak up. No, he spoke. And by doing so, he became confident. The feeling came after the action, not the other way around. So as Ethan's confidence grew, he started to get the psychology behind it all. He came up with this really powerful metaphor for what true confidence really is. It wasn't about what he was on the outside, but what he believed himself to be on the inside. I mean, just think about this for a second. An elephant is, objectively, bigger, stronger, and even faster than a lion. But when a lion looks at an elephant, it doesn't see a superior animal. It sees lunch. And the elephant, it sees a predator. So what does that tell you? Confidence isn't about objective reality. It's about perception. It's all about how you see yourself. But look,
let's be real. Growth is never a straight line, right? Of course, the journey wasn't perfect. He took on a big public talk, and it was a complete disaster. He forgot his lines, people in the audience looked bored. He felt all that old shame and humiliation just washing over him again. He goes home that night just crushed, feeling like he'd made, 10,000 mistakes, feeling like every single fear he ever had was just proven right, that he was an imposter, that he wasn't cut out for this.
But then he remembered this quote, this incredible reframe from Thomas Edison. What if those weren't 10,000 failures? What if they were just 10,000 lessons? What if they were just data points, showing him the ways that don't work on the path to finding what does? And it changed everything. That became his new mindset. Failure wasn't the end of the road. It was the price of admission. It was the tuition you have to pay to get the education you need for success. It's an investment. Okay, so what does all this mean for you? Because Ethan's story, it's not just some random story. It's a blueprint. It's a mirror that shows you what's possible for anyone, for you, if you're just willing to take that first shaky step. So if you take away just one thing from this, let it be this. Stop waiting to feel confident. Start acting to build it. Action is the cause. Confidence is the effect. Don't wait for the fear to go away. Act with the fear, and you'll eventually become fearless. Every single time you speak up, you're planting a seed that's going to grow into something huge.
So, I want to leave you with a question, a real one. Right now, in your life, your job, your relationships, what is the one sentence you're holding back? What's the idea you keep swallowing? What's the truth you're too afraid to speak?
Because that one sentence, that could be the start of everything. It could be the first rep that starts building the muscle.